Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, the show where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, and we're back with more Super Friends that isn't actually Super Friends. With A Perfidious Pieman is Simon and Frozen Peril, and Seeds of Disaster and Devil of a Time. So, Pieman is Simon made its debut December 14th, 1968, Frozen Peril, November 26th, 1977. Toonami got them both October 19th, 1998. And the Seeds of Disaster, Devil of a Time double bill debuted December 31st, 1966, so a Christmas present for the kiddies. Toonami got it in the middle of fall, October 20th, 1998. I have been so excited for this episode because I saw Perfidious Pieman is Simon a while ago, and this is what I feel like going insane must feel like. Because, yeah.
Yeah, like I saw when I was watching it, I was like, this feels exactly like an Adam West Batman episode. Like, beat for beat, this felt like an Adam West Batman episode. Also, thank you, Casey Kasem, for the double dipping as a character in this. Very noticeably double dipping.
If you step away from your microphone for 1 second, Casey Kasem will seize it.
Yeah.
He will take over your lines. How dare you?
Yeah, so for context, this episode is weird because we start off with a truckload of pre-EU Turkish currency being taken to Gotham Airport. Why Gotham has 4 million pesetos, or whatever they call it, Turkish currency, never explained. It's because it's a pun. When in there, the narrator goes, "We recognise this woman. Could this be Simon's beautiful apprentice? Beautiful assistant?" And of course, we're sitting there going, "What?" Because this is a follow-up to a previous episode. There was a Batman Adventure episode called Simon the Pieman, which introduced Simon the Pieman, who was made for this series, and he gets like Monster Heel booking in his first episode, because he comes in, he captures and imprisons Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, and Mr. Freeze in about 5 minutes and locks them all up, and becomes Gotham's new kingpin of crime, to the point Batman calls him his greatest foe ever.
Hmm.
Simon the Pieman.
Yeah.
Good for you, Simon. You know, that's a big title to have.
That first episode's great. They so try and push it as the new Batman villain. You know how in the live action King Tut, they use
Oh,
King
yeah.
Tut continually.
Yes.
He's this show's King Tut, and like, he's our new cool villain. We're going to make money off him. But his whole thing is he likes nursery rhymes and has to say Simon Says before his little minions do anything.
Yeah.
I wonder. I don't remember if he ever made it into the comics. He had to have at least been
Nope.
in one, right?
I don't
He,
remember. I don't remember Pieman, you know. I don't even remember. Has Egghead been in anything?
Egghead was in the Batman 66 comic I did, if I recall.
Yeah, Egghead
Okay.
was in that.
Good.
Outside, good old Egghead. Outside of this, Pieman makes 2 more appearances, both in Batman Brave and the Bold. He appears in the background of a montage, and he appears in, I think they call it Bar 66, which is a bar where all the D-list Batman villains hang out, and the entire gag is no one remembers who Simon the Pieman is.
I remember that episode of Brave and the Bold because that's just Brave and the Bold's whole vibe is being really weird. They have Batman of Zur and R in Brave and the Bold, which is crazy.
They
But
do.
even Batman Brave and the Bold wasn't enough to name him. They're just like, even in this category, he's still not worth being like getting lines or an episode. He's the bottom of the barrel we have gone through.
Yes, despite being proclaimed as the greatest enemy, having his own pie submarine, his own apparent theme park that's all based on pastries.
Mother Goose's Pastry Land for Kiddies, which is the most sinister name for anything ever.
I loved how evil that was. That was so cynical. Like that felt like that could have gone so dark, and I'm so mad that the '60s couldn't let it be dark.
Well, because this episode starts with Barbara Gordon being sent to do, I guess, safety inspections, because apparently she's also OSHA in this world. And because that's just what Commissioner Gordon does. He sends his daughter to sinister places to do inspections. But they also confirm her job is librarian, so she has no authority here. I do believe impersonating a safety officer is a federal crime, so Barbara, prison.
Yeah.
But immediately he's like, we're going to Barbara in this she gets kidnapped, she gets out, they knock her out again, kidnap her again, she escapes, they kidnap her again, then they try and throw her down a well.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
Barbara,
Yeah.
Barbara doesn't make out good in this episode. If you're a Batgirl fan, this is not going to make you happy.
To be fair, Batman and Robin don't do it. They both get captured twice in this. Like they
Yeah.
tie Robin to a thing and try and blow him up with dynamite, and then try and
What
drop
is that
Batman
again?
in some soup.
He was just hanging around, as he says.
Yeah, because the whole thing is Batman's hanging on a bell. They're ringing the bell. And there's a pot of boiling soup below, and then how will Batman get out of this? And then, like 10 seconds into part two, he goes, "There's a rope attached to this bell. I'll just climb down." World's greatest detective.
World's greatest detective. You gotta, like, at least he figured it out, right? You know?
And I'm almost like, to be fair, Batman, I'm surprised you just don't have bat anti-soup spray.
He might. He just didn't
Could
have
just
it at the
congeal the
time.
soup into a goo.
It's just a pocket full of cornstarch.
Yeah.
Time to call my greatest ally, Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
It's fucking raw. Anyway,
Yeah.
I do have to
yeah.
share. I did go on Simon the Pieman's Batman wiki page, and it
Mhm.
has probably the greatest just sentence fragment in the world. Simon the Pieman is a villain created for the adventures of Batman. He says Simon says when he gives orders to his henchmen. He is known to disguise himself as a woman. End of entry.
Yeah,
They are just spitting facts, frankly.
that is just accurate. It's
Or-
just accurate.
I love it. It's progressive. We're not saying that the dressing as a woman is part of his villainy. That's just what he does in his free time, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like the idea of it. It's not villainous drag. It's just drag for the sake of it.
Yeah.
It does
Not
make
even
me
part of
wonder.
the ploy.
Makes me wonder what happened to this theme park in like Batman Adventures canon after Simon is gone. Like, does Gordon seize it from the government? Is it going to be reopened?
I assume
Joker
like
takes it over.
yeah,
It's
it's like
like
it's like Amusement Mile in Gotham. It's just like we just have a part of Gotham that's just dilapidated theme parks.
It's just abandoned amusement parks for this entire district. So every
oh,
villain gets a turn.
this reminds me of nerdy reference. Magia Record, the Madica spin-off had that. It was like this small town. Oh, by the way, the abandoned industrial district, the abandoned theme park. The like half of this town is apparently abandoned for some reason.
Half of Gotham is in Silent Hill, and the other half is like
Yeah.
in the real. Like we know this. It's
They
no
have,
hub city, but it's close.
Yeah.
look, they have a piezoelectricity plant, which is funny because the joke they make up piezoelectricity is true. It's here because it's got pie in the name. But that seems to be like an actual thing. So no wonder Gotham's always so gloomy if they're trying to generate their grid via piezoelectricity. It's like, just use solar. I know you're Americans, but use solar power.
Hey, the sun never comes up in Gotham City. That's the thing you're forgetting about.
Because of all the
It's always night.
pollution caused by the piezoelectricity plant, which probably uses more power than you put in.
Well,
Gotham would be Metropolis if we got rid of that.
blimps don't just make themselves. We need to construct dirigibles for our cityscape.
It's
Superman just
perpetually
like,
1942 in Gotham and
Yeah.
perpetually nighttime.
Superman's like, hey, Superman, come over. So like, actually, no, I'm okay. Why not come to Metropolis where we have running water?
We have running water and not gas lamps. And you know what? Women, they're allowed to wear pants in Metropolis.
Yeah. I think it was either Bruce Timm or Paul Dini describing Gotham, or when they did animated series, their Art Deco Gotham is like, what if the World's Fair just never finished? Like, what if it just kind of like kept like the New York World's Fair just kept going, and it kind of maintains that vibe. As for like half of the city being abandoned, it's Gotham. Of course you're gonna get the hell out of Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham sucks.
Gotham Walt Disney turn up and Ashley, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. Like God, like that's the thing we have to kind of agree to right now. Living in Gotham City probably sucks. Like there's no reason to be there if you can get out.
Yeah, it's like of all the fictional comic book worlds and locations to go to, Metropolis is the city of tomorrow. You want to go to Metropolis, Coast City when it's not being destroyed by Cyborg Superman is right there on the coast. It's gorgeous. Gotham, nobody goes to Gotham.
There is
Nobody
literally
wants to go
one
to
happy
Gotham.
person in Gotham, and that's Alfred, because Gotham is the only city in the country where being a combat butler is a marketable profession.
Oh yeah, yeah. He found his niche and just kind of stayed there. He was like, "Oh, Dr. Wayne, you need a butler that also knows how to like handle themselves in combat and handle traumatic injuries, got you covered. And
Got you. I
yeah,
was murdering Nazis when it was still cool.
yeah,
Uh,
Can you clean? No, but I can affix bayonets.
yeah. He's
Talk,
very good at it.
the second half of this episode, which is Super Friends, Superman, Aquaman short, talking
Yeah,
of stupid plans that make no sense. Frozen Peril is a stupid plan that makes no sense.
yeah,
Because the whole
100%.
point is Sculpton, who they call him, who is a fish, who is also
yeah.
a sea devil, because everything in Super Friends is apparently a sea devil. His plan is to freeze the oceans, cut out pieces of the oceans, and then drop them on the desert to turn the desert into oceans. But apparently, this is how he's going to get rich, because apparently deserts are paying him to be flooded.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
We're going to flood the Gobi Desert and we're being paid for it. Who? Also, that wouldn't
Gobi.
work. It would just sink straight. It's not
Yeah.
how oceans work.
Yep.
He invented Minecraft. He's like, oh, if I take a source block and put it here, it'll all flood. It's not how water works.
Yeah, I mean, he's in Sea Devil school. They don't teach basic like irrigation or, soil.
Avoid men with cravats is all you're taught.
I mean, that's a good lesson to take, though. I've been known to rock a cravat, but I do think people should avoid me when I'm wearing it.
Can we talk about his design real quick? Like this weird, like generic, like kind of cribbed from the creature from the Black Lagoon face.
Yeah.
He's based off
I love
a specific fish, but it doesn't really play into it. It's like a rockfish. They do have that weird face,
Oh yeah.
but it doesn't really do anything for this episode.
I wouldn't have put that together if you didn't just tell me that. Wouldn't have thought that.
It is definitely strange because they also never come down on if he's an alien or not, because he has human accomplices and he talks like he's a human. So I guess maybe he's just like Elphaba in Wicked. He was just born as a fish person, like his mom went to Innsmouth during pregnancy.
Oh, you'd never want to go to Innsmouth during pregnancy. That's the last place you want to
went
go.
to Innsmouth, full stop.
Yeah.
There's a whole book on why that ends poorly.
Yeah, that and Dunwich. Maybe avoid both.
Maybe avoid both. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do admit, I had that moment when we were melting Aquaman out of his prison, thinking to myself, he should have died. He should have absolutely been boiled alive.
What I like is when Aquaman gets frozen, he smiles, which I guess is for the kiddie, so they're not too scared. But I also think it's like even Aquaman is like, finally I can die.
Finally.
Sweet release.
And here comes Superman to ruin it all.
I'm going to be reincarnated as the girl Robin, and it will be a more honourable existence than this one.
Which girl Robin?
I couldn't think of the name off the top of my head, so I just said girl Robin.
So Stephanie Brown. We're just gonna go Stephanie Brown.
That's the one I'm probably thinking of.
Probably.
I knew it was a common name. I was like, Jane? No.
What stood out to me between these two episodes is that the first one was about 25 minutes long, and the second one only 17.
Yes.
Including the bumps on both ends. So
that's because that is another Superman and Superboy pairing. So Superman shorts are 7 minutes, Superboy shorts are about 5 minutes. You also lose a minute because, I'll be honest, the last 30 seconds of the Superboy episode turns out doesn't work on my very old DVD of Superboy. Just doesn't work. And I have spent money on this podcast. I refuse to spend a penny more on Superboy.
Good.
fair.
So you literally lose the punchline of him saying, "I had a devil of a time." It's certainly not worth the $7 eBay wanted me to spend.
I do want to talk a little bit about the Superboy short because wow, what a devil costume they put him in. Like what an interesting little like Shakespearean devil costume.
Very, very shining.
He also really runs with that concept a lot, right?
Oh, he's into it. He's
Like,
so into
He's
it.
LARPing pretty hardcore.
Yeah, so for context, this is a reversal from last week where the Superman short is nothing and the Superboy short's actually interesting. Basically, Superboy at a costume party, Lana's dressed as an angel, he's dressed as a devil. He hears two criminals having a chat. We don't hear that, he just does. So he's like, well, I'm going to go dressed as the devil and tell them they've got 3 wishes, and basically starts messing with them by bringing them the wrong thing, and then tricks them by convincing them he's taken them to hell.
Yeah.
Before making them confess, because they're truth, justice, and the American way is invoking religious hysteria. Actually, that
Historically,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
historically.
Historically, yes, actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Psychological warfare is the way forward. Yeah, because he goes to a coal mine and crushes some coal to make a big diamond for them. And I love, and he gives these criminals like, this is too big. Like, we can't do anything with this. It's just too big.
It's too big. What a bunch of complainers. You know, the devil just handed you a diamond, and now you're going to complain about the size. You're monsters.
I love how quickly they just run with it. They're like wait. He's like, oh, I'm the devil. And there's like, okay.
Yeah.
You think you would question that? These guys must have been evangelical criminals who were just like, oh yeah, obviously Satan's real, and Satan would come to us at any moment.
Hey, it was the 60s. Everyone knew that the devil was in that rock and roll music.
And in Kansas.
And in Kansas.
I listened to one Buddy Holly record, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
Famously, the devil went to Kansas.
Yeah. Everybody knows Devil lives in Kansas.
Yeah.
Isn't there a supernatural episode about that?
I think there actually might be a supernatural episode about the devil living in Kansas.
There's enough of them that I can presume.
One of the first episode of this half, which is to say Superman versus Plant 42, is written by Arnold Drake, who was the co-creator of Doom Patrol, co-creator of Deadman, co-creator of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because comic books doesn't always pay well, kids. Sometimes you have to write for cartoons too.
Yeah.
Was he having an off day?
I mean, I'll say this: his Doom Patrol comics are better than the episode.
It's not hard.
Not hard.
Seeds of Disaster is plagued by the problem of these being 7 minutes long, because we get this thing like, oh, the seed pod's dropped on Earth, opens it up, and it forms these big tentacle plants. So Superman has to dash around the world, killing them one by one, until he goes, actually, I'm just going to napalm a good chunk of the world with this massive lens. Probably horrible collateral damage. He's probably killed hundreds, but it's fine. The plants are dead. But we just stop. We don't confirm like what these plants are. Are they hostile? Because the vines seem to be alive. They seem to be sentient because they grab Superman, but we don't ever confirm what they are. Just as they came, we killed them. Okay, kiddies, here's Superboy.
That's this is a kind of a precursor to Agent Orange. It's Agent Kryptonian, really. He just kind of takes out, like I say, it's very Plant 42 for all you Resident Evil heads out there.
It's interesting because I feel like this is where you kind of have the hard part about Superman, especially at this point in time, is Superman has the ability to rip a human being in half. So you always have to kind of put him up against some weird nonsense, and some weird nonsense makes more sense than other weird nonsense. And this was one of those ones where it was like, this seems like a job for Batman.
I mean, Batman's taking on Swamp Thing, so it's
This feels like a poison. That's the thing. I was waiting for like a poison ivy kind of thing, or like
Me
at least
too.
these seeds to have some purpose beyond they're just some weird thing that exists in space.
This is like, as much as we talk about this being Super Friends, this is a pre-Super Friends world. Adventures of Superman is like a few years before. So we can't cross the DC streams, We can't have nominal Batman villains take on Superman or vice versa. As creatively interesting as that would be.
I did like Perry White in this being like, well, this is what's going on. And then Clark just being like, bye, later.
Where are you going, Clark? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. You're working right now, right, Clark? It's like, I'm going to do the news.
I have unlimited PTO. Try and stop me.
Try and stop me. This is a union, buddy.
I always like the comics where they're like, Clark Kent has like IBS, or so he claims.
Yeah. It was like
nobody wants to touch that, so it's just like, just take as much time as you need.
It's especially funny when they do that when it's like on stuff that clearly must have taken more than a day as well. It's like, oh yeah, Clark went to the toilet. He'll be out in a week.
My Adventures with Superman does such a great job of playing with that, where it's like, man, he really likes bagels. He's always going out for a bagel, like all the time.
I mean,
it's what you do in New York.
Yeah.
Metropolis, New York, same thing.
Dad went out for a bagel
and never came back.
Yeah, no, Seeds of Disaster just ends with a bad joke while Superman is taking his boss out for a disappointing steak dinner. which that's the bit of the Superman mythos I want. Superman's steakhouse choices.
Hey, Kryptonian steak choices. Do you think he's
I
a medium rare guy, or what do you think?
it uh it depends. I mean, there's some comics where he's a vegetarian, right? Mark Waid
Yep.
and Birthright made him a vegetarian, which didn't take for very long. I
It's a
assume, I
shame.
mean, he's a good Midwest boy. You know, he grew up on a farm. He probably takes it medium.
Yeah.
He probably just eats cows alive. Just goes,
Yeah, just
Just
inhales.
just slurps out
I'm
their sweetmeats.
now having a very specific flashback. There is okay. This may not exist. I think there's a Silver Age comic which has a cover of him just shoving gigantic pies in his mouth. But
Yes,
that
yes, it's
okay,
burgers.
burgers. I couldn't remember if that or if that was
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
a Beano parody of Superman I saw at one
No,
point.
it
Oh,
is
Okay.
it's a real
I
Silver Age cover. I believe that the idea was that it was either some kind of kryptonite or something that made him have to constantly eat or he was gonna die.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like wasting disease effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
have that issue somewhere, but yeah.
I know my dad has that
In my
issue.
private stash.
Oh, I had
In
there some of the Jimmy Olsen covers that I have in my private stash. Ooh.
so
I had like a literal like dumb flashback for a brief second there. Like this, so this was just lodged in my brain from man. Imagine what I could have been doing with that brain cell.
Yeah, I mean, but John, I'm curious now that we've kind of gone through and you've cobbled together, you've gone above and beyond to cobble together this tour of not super friends,
yeah,
sometimes
this is
super friends,
amazing.
but um, how is the experience of looking back on these, 12 or so episodes,
Keep in
minisodes?
mind, there's 87 episodes overall. There will be more of this in the future, but probably in smaller amounts because this is just hell. This is whole thing is just so weird. It's just like I'm still a little bit bitter because I wanted just the Super Friends shorts haven't been great, but at least they would have given me the character I wanted to bloody see, which was Wonder Woman. So I've just got reams of cool Wonder Woman stuff I haven't had to use. It's just the idea of having all these together. In there is something charming for me about how low rent this show is. Like in the Toonami context of how, oh fuck it, just throw it on, because like we see that here with Pieman. It's like this is the one chance you had for continuity, and you couldn't be bothered to show the original Simon episode first. Why in the world would you do that? It is in this block. I don't think Toonami ever showed it, but in the Superman Batman Adventures later on Boomerang has that episode. It's not a rights thing. And even if it was a right thing, why would you show this episode when the whole reveal is, oh look, it's Simon again, who the audience have never seen? What, like, especially because like clearly they had the rights to these Super Friends episode. Why not just so super? All you've done is made a bit more effort, but to re-show a USA, even USA Network having this is kind of a bit weird. I know USA did weird because this was still the era where Grandpa Bloody Munster was hosting their Saturday morning movies. Oh,
Yeah.
not Grandpa Munster, Grandpa, because he didn't have the rights to the Munsters. Ugh.
I just see you in your room with like a cork board and a bunch of yarn trying to figure out how this got put together, you know?
That's been literally it. And the funny thing for me is just how like this show has been kind of rightfully erased from history. Like I can tell you, I have been emailing people to try and get anything on like production. I have received zero responses, even when flexing my legitimate journalist credentials, which I don't do very often because it's not really true. Um, no one has said like any other Toonami show. I think I can go and find at least one ex guy was like on production. Will go, oh yeah, we did this. Like SWAT Cats, why wasn't shown? Oh yeah, it was a rights issue. This we've all erased it from our memories.
I really do think, and I've mentioned this before, that any lead into Dragon Ball Z was just going to be like, we know we're going to get viewers for this. What do we have in the Warner vaults that we can just cobble together and throw on rather than burning one of our licensed or expensively produced shows? And this is what we got.
My personal theory, I'm not going to be shaken from this. It's untrue, but it's my new theory is that when the Space Ghost guys were looking for frames, they found these in the closet, and they kind of just fell out. And someone was like, "Well, we should use them now because they're out, and we don't want to put them away again."
There is something a little special interesty about putting this on before Dragon Ball. You know, like somebody in that office really loved this stuff and was like, no, we have to throw it out there. They know all the ins and outs, but they all didn't realize that everybody around them didn't know the ins and outs. Kind of like when I make you guys watch Transformers. Um, Similar energy, you know?
The children must know the Pie Man.
They
Yeah.
must know.
But not in his first
time.
appearance.
Not his first appearance. We don't do that. No, we're gonna drop you in head first, kids.
Well, because the Perfidious Pieman is the he's like the Godfather 2 of the Pie Man franchise. It is the better film.
Yeah, you don't need Godfather 1. Who needs that? You know?
Yeah. Who needs to know about, how Michael Corleone took power?
Just
Actually,
start at Rocky 4.
Yeah.
I just realised what you may have noticed is the title card for all, because obviously I didn't change the text on title cards because we're only one seeing these. Is that the Simon Pieman title card is the one for every Batman one? Because that was the only intro I can find in full. The conspiracy goes deeper than I think. Why is that the only? Why is that the only?
Oh, somebody break out the cork board and the red
the black
string.
SUVs are pulling up outside my house. Help!
Yeah. Carted away by Warner Brothers and the Warner
If
Sister
I'm
Band.
not here next week, avenge me.
Yeah.
You're gonna get like a pillowcase pulled off your head, and all of a sudden Bugs Bunny's just standing over you, like you
Yeah.
think you're so smart, huh, Doc?
I'm a Canadian citizen. You gotta say it in French and in English, please, Mr. Bunny.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. My rights need to be read in both languages. Thank you. But so any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I mean,
Or
it's
were those
it's just more cobbled together stuff and another gimmicky villain that yeah, would have felt right at home in 1966.
DC, there is a fresh $20 bill in my wallet waiting for the inevitable Harley Quinn versus Pie Man limited series.
hey,
I know a guy. I know a guy.
I know a guy. I know pie puns. Apart from that, I watch Pie Man. The Pie Man 2 episodes are just the epitome of 1960s. What is Batman? He's a man who makes puns. Kind of Joker is just like back. This is the era where you got to have a gimmick, and Joker is just a funny clown man who goes hee hee. Avoid everything else. Watch Pie Man. Well, watch Pie Man so you can suffer, but it's a nice kind of suffering. Everything else is the bad kind of suffering.
it's a very Buddhist kind of suffering, you know.
Pie Man builds character.
Builds character, but yeah, there's fun to be had here. Though I will tell you, you can all go to the link in the description to contribute to the Kickstarter for John's legal fees for when he gets kidnapped by the WB Corporation. So you can just contribute. But yeah, I've been having fun with this. It's weird. It's very weird. It's a weird choice to have made at the time. But hey, you know, sometimes you got to swing for the fences, right? But that does mean we have pulled into our final destination. That's right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again for joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.